What's going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, break it down on what really moved it, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So SoFi did go down 1.49%, largely just piggybacking off of the broader market. 27.03 the low, 27.55 the high, and about 24.5 million shares being traded. So rather quiet day. And I think we kind of all knew that because yesterday being Christmas, Merry Christmas on a side note, hopefully everyone had an epic day, but generally the day after Christmas is quiet. Institutions aren't really doing all that much and so forth. Today, there really wasn't that much in macro data. There was a couple of Fed speakers, but nothing really of substance. Today for SoFi, there was no press releases, no SEC filings, no even speculative topics being posted. So today was merely just piggybacking off of the broader market. And there was quite a few things really, in my opinion at least, influencing it. So there was, in case you haven't really seen, there's been a lot of articles coming out about gold, silver, copper, and many other metals doing fairly well. And so in case you don't know, historically speaking, that usually does signal fear in the broader market. There's a lot of other explanations that could kind of justify that, but if you kind of combine that with Bitcoin falling, it kind of signals that there is fear. So typically at the same time with Bitcoin going down, I believe that cryptocurrency is just an extension of people's appetite for risk. So Bitcoin going down, you have a lot of the metals going higher, just shows that there's just a lot of grayness. There was one thing that also came out first thing. That was this right here. So China hits 20 US firms with sanctions over Taiwan arms sales. And so this, even though it doesn't directly affect SoFi and many stocks, it still goes to show that there's a back and forth starting to occur between China and the States. So especially the States and AI and trying to restrict China from that. It goes to show that there's some subtle escalation that is starting. And plus, possibly Trump could take this very personally as an attack against the states and obviously find his own way to kind of strike back, if that makes sense. So again, this is kind of what really affected just generally the broader market. And you also did see the USD kind of weakening in comparison to the yen. And so it looks like there's kind of strength, the first time it actually getting above that $7 par since 2024. So again, this is another subtle thing that's potentially going to impact the American market. Not anything to really cause a sell-off, but still a lot of these subtle things all happening at once kind of signals just a certain level of uncertainty. And the market doesn't like to be uncertain on anything. So this is a quick summary of everything that did happen. Even though today did feel like a Monday, this type of price action gives me back in when I used to cover it when it was like $8, $7 and so forth, this type of price action gave me that type of vibes, only because back then every single Friday, and for those of you that have been watching me for a while, you can kind of count it like clockwork. Friday at 2 o'clock, it would instantly start just selling off for no rhyme or reason. And this kind of only happened with SoFi. It wasn't other stocks. And the main reason why is because shorts and market makers didn't want SoFi to have certain in the money options, right? And it was always shorts. Even looking right over here, you can kind of see shorts just instantly went from returning about 500,000 to now only returning 100,000. So during this time frame, shorts did increase roughly around 400,000 or 500,000 shares. So kind of comical. The main reason again is all linked to options, but ultimately shorts today did return net about 21,000 shares. 9.4% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 116 million shares overall being shorted. And again, going back over here, this is exactly why shorts did that. They tried to get it to close below 27 because there is 9,000 at the $27 strike price that they were trying to get to expire worthless, right? Because market makers and shorts, they, even though not officially, but they do for manipulation purposes, they want most of this to expire worthless. So
This 9,000 might give a little bit of a bump up going into next week, which again is also a shorter week. You also do have 2,000 at the 2650. So kind of interesting stuff that is happening. At the same time, you do see some signs of manipulation even further because cost to borrow minimum is negative. So that does mean that there's more brokers out there paying people to short SoFi. And you actually see some kind of signs of naked shorting, which is kind of comical because you had AMC, GameStop, those types of shareholders like pleading, please show me some signs of naked shorting. Like, I want to go fight against the man. Like, SoFi has naked shorting right now. And because 116 million shares being shorted, 105 on loan. You should never have more shares being shorted than on loan. So kind of crazy stuff. You have a lot of signs of manipulation that's going on. These are all the transactions that did occur so far on the secondary market, unless some things happen after hours, but it kind of matches as well just with the quieter day. A lot of these transactions right here are buys, so it really does signal that algorithmic trading was the dominant force and was adding a certain level of suppression to SoFi. Again, just piggybacking off of a lot of the negative things that is kind of happening to kind of the broader market. Then these are all the transactions occurring on the dark pool above $100,000, largest being 8.8 million, then 7.15. So again, rather quiet stuff. With it closing at 707, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot. So 2663 and 2751 is going to be the next strong support as well as target. Stay tuned for my video over the weekend where I go over some expectations for this upcoming week and everything else. So definitely stay tuned for that. Aside from all of that fun stuff though, on the actual chart, still you had some consolidation. Still doing fairly well though. Still trading between that 50 and 100-day moving averages. So that 100 is sitting at 27 exactly, and that wasn't tested whatsoever today. And then that 50-day moving average seems to be just kind of the dream. But aside from that though, there really hasn't been that much in articles. There's a lot of things coming out. It's all kind of new articles, but it's just referring back to old information. So nothing new that's worthwhile to bring up. And plus you can kind of see right here, a lot of the smaller transactions. This is the flow. It signals that algorithmic trading was fairly active today, but no new analyst ratings or anything. So the last one did come out was on the 23rd by 𝗪𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗘𝗖𝗧, $36 price target. So all in all, SoFi, it consolidated with the broader market, but still, I think big things might be coming for SoFi in 2026. Let me know your general thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Then one final thing, pop over to my Stacked account. I put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades, worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. I do also have a lot of promotions that is valid up until the end of the year. So definitely pop over there and check that out. Link in the description below and also the comments. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.